And there it is. That's probably like my favorite intro of all Tekken games. Will have to be, I think it's like the arcade edition one or the arcade version. But surprisingly, it's not here in the theater mode. But yes, guys, we're here with Tekken 3. And basically, we're just going to go down into memory lane and just look at all the modes and just experience how Tekken was during that time. But of course, leave it down in the comments below, guys, if you have started with Tekken 3 or which Tekken did you start off with? And as well, which character is your favorite here in Tekken 3? For me, I started off very early because I remember playing Tekken 3, the arcade cabinet, in some of my supermarkets, which is mostly like HEB. I remember my old supermarkets like had like around six or five different arcade machines, and I remember Tekken 3 being like in the main center or like in the middle of the row of all these other arcade machines that it was truly phenomenal playing it. Like just popping in as many quarters just to continue on to the next battle. And it's just really amazing to see that, yes, now we could play it here in our home console version. So as you can see, I put mostly a lot of time on certain characters. As you can see, for the time attack mode, didn't really do so much, like just a little bit, not a lot. Greatest Survivor, same thing, the survival mode. You know, I played for a little bit, but not too much. But because I think this mode, I still need to get better and just learn how to use every character. But as you all know, I was mostly a casual at the time, so I just pressed whatever buttons. But here in the character data, as you can see, I mostly play Jin, Law, or Eddie. Of course, there's Gong and Mokujin. I think Mokujin is just one of those characters, like, yes, it's mostly random, but I just really enjoyed playing him a lot. Same thing with True Ogre, because of course he's like the boss battle of the game, and of course everyone else along the way. But yes, I mostly did play every single character, as you can see here, all the way down to 21st. But at the same time, these, I guess you could say, are my top 10. But my favorite character of all time for Tekken 3 will have to be Eddie. I mean, yes, I think a lot of people will disrespect him a little bit more how he is in Tekken 3, which I understand. I mean, just with the flying kicks that he does, and it's great. But at the same time, he was my favorite character, just like doing all those crazy stuff. But Jin was very powerful in this game. I do remember that. Like, he is very powerful because we didn't get Kazuya, so now we have Jin to replace him here in Tekken 3. I mean, of course, Law was also good very, very much, and Gon and Mokujin, of course, are mostly like the fun characters or funny characters, or like the I forgot what you call those characters. Just not the reliable characters you're mostly gonna play every single time, in any fighting game, basically, or laughable characters, basically like that. But as you can see, I have the win average data. I'm not sure this is just only for versus mode, but as you can see, Dr. B, only 1 win, 0 losses. I don't remember doing this at all, which is very interesting, but it was just funny that I do have this, which is 1 win and 0 losses. But yeah, these are my data, just to show you guys that yes, I did play Tekken 3 for a very long time. But of course, where I lived, it was not mostly when it comes to tournaments, or they were doing some tournaments every single month. Like, it wasn't like that. You just had to play in the arcades or whatever superstore or in the mall that had arcade machines. You had to go there and try it out for yourself. So we do have game options here. These are all the game options that the game has to offer. But of course, you do have the console release soundtrack and the arcade edition as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this is what it has to offer. And I guess we'll get started on just a little bit on the different modes right here. As you all know, arcade mode is going to be the traditional way, as we all remember from playing it in the arcade cabinets, which you do the character, go all the way to the top, finish the boss battle, and of course you get your ending, which is pretty cool. So I do have all the endings right here, which is pretty awesome. But what I like about for the home console release of arcade mode is that once you get theater mode, you're able to switch the Tekken series movie theater, which is pretty cool, right? So before we get into that, we have the music list. So this is all the music right here for the remix music soundtrack, as you can see here. So over 29 of them. And then if you go and select the BMG select, now you have the arcade music. So you want to listen to some tunes, that's all you have to do to listen to between the arcade version of the characters versus the, of course, the home console release. So it was pretty awesome to see this, just like jamming out to some of your favorite character themes. But of course, we have the disc. So right now, I have Tekken 3 inserted, but right now I'm gonna get my Tekken 2 physical copy and switch it over. Okay, right now I just plugged in my Tekken 2 copy. And there you go, you have the arcade music and of course the remake music for Tekken 2. Now, surprisingly, I think Tekken 2 and I think Tekken 1 never had a theater mode, which is very unfortunate, but you do have all the theater modes here, or the music, and of course the endings for the characters themselves, as well as the remix music, which is pretty awesome because, it's very unfortunate that, we never had a theater mode for the other games, because if you really wanted to watch the endings again, we'll basically have to play through the whole arcade edition once again for the Tekken 2 and Tekken 1. But right here, as you can see, we have Tekken 2, all the endings right here, and the openings and the intros and everything like that. So they're all here, which is pretty damn awesome. But again, I don't quite remember, once again, if Tekken 2 really had a theater mode. It's been so long since I really remember, but once again, it's pretty awesome to see that, hey, if you have your previous copy of Tekken 1 or Tekken 2, you could just switch out the disc and you have everyone here, which is pretty damn awesome. Let's just play Kazuya's ending right here. Just show you guys, like, it does work, which is awesome. But just like I said before, if you really wanted to watch these old endings, you basically have to play Tekken 2 arcade mode once again in order to see the ending of that specific character, which is not bad. You're just playing the whole game again. But I know for a lot of us that, I want to see that ending again from this character and this character. Well, the only way to do it is just by, of course, if you do have a copy of Tekken 3, you can switch it out, swap it out, and you're good to go. But there you go. There's Kazuya versing his devil form. And it looks like he defeated him. And oh my god, the smirk. But it's pretty awesome to see that you have this option. Now, I don't know what happens if you return to screen. Okay, now it just says that we have to return back to Tekken 3. So Tekken 3 is inserted once again. And we're back into playing the game. Now, I know for sure Arcade Edition was very awesome to play all the time. I always did it, and I always enjoy the aspect of Tekken 3. Now, for team battle and versus mode, yes, I did play like with my brother. I think with my sister as well. And I don't remember some of my friends because, again, during at that time, I don't think there was a lot of people that knew about Tekken 3 as well, or even some of my friends. Or it was hard to get them to come over to my house and play Tekken, fighting games, basically. But even still, versus mode and team battle, they're a lot of fun. I do like team battle a lot as well. You could go out to 8 teams, and of course, you go along the way and select whatever characters you want. And then just like, most team battles, you have to defeat the character and you move on to the next one. So right now, I'm not sure what's going on. I wonder why there's no music. I think it's probably because maybe I switched out the game. Oh, it's on silent. I'm not sure why it's in silent. But okay. But I will say versus mode team battle, there were fun times when I played with other people or just CPU characters, and that's fine. But it was okay. Now, time attack mode, same thing. Did not put too much effort into it, or did not put a lot of hours into it, because it's just playing through the whole entire like arcade mode, just trying to defeat the characters a lot more faster. That's pretty much it. Now survival mode, I think survival mode is a little bit more harder in this game. I think it's just, you know, how it is with CPU characters. Like they will go all ham once they get to a certain round. I think once you reach up to round 8 or 9, that's where the characters start to get very smart. And man, you'll get destroyed very easily. But once again, you know, during that time playing this, I was still mostly a casual. I just pressed whatever buttons, and my highest was Hihachi. I think it was Hihachi, and not that is the default one that you get for survivors. But once again, I did not play very much of this one because, man, the characters were tough once you get to the higher levels or the higher rounds. But maybe one day I'll do it, you know, in my own time, just to see how further I can go and how many wins I could get. But I could say for sure, you have to know the game a little bit just to get better. But as well, just one last thing right there, as you can see, mine was Law and my brother was JV. So that's pretty awesome to see that my brother did play the game. But once again, it's just, you know, it's been so long since we actually played, I would say, Tekken 3. And of course, we have Tekken Ball, Tekken Force. Very interesting modes. They were a lot of fun, of course. Again, you just play it consistently, have fun with it, and just do crazy stuff, at least with Tekken Ball. Because I know Tekken Ball, you know, was one of those things that was fun. You know, you had the different options to choose, you know, who you want to play as, and of course, choose whatever different ball you want to begin with. And it was good at the time, you know. Not sure why they didn't bring it back for most of the other series, but I guess it's just, hey, it's just a mode. I don't think people are not going to like it for the further future of Tekken, because that's where we started to see that Tekken was, I guess, getting more popular, but more of the competitive side rather than the casual side. But even still, I think Tekken Ball is a nice mode to have, you know, just for just fun and giggles. Like, I think that's important for a lot of fighting games. It's just have a mode that is just for giggles and just have fun. I understand that it's hard to balance between competitive and the more aspect of casual side, but it's very unfortunate that, you know, it's hard to do both of them at the same time. And of course, lastly we have, which is Tekken Force, and this mode was very interesting. I finally completed it for my first time, as I show you right now the video, but it's just one of those games like, man, this was very different. It's kind of like a beat 'em up, you know, type of game, which was pretty cool at the time. But I never expected that, you know, Tekken will come back with Tekken Force, I would say, or at least for the next sequel of the game. But it was just awesome to see that Tekken Force was one of those games that, or one of those modes, was very different from the original base game of any fighting game. So I'm not sure in the further future that maybe there are some games out there that still take up on, you know, this type of how you say it, a beat 'em ups type of game, which is, I know, is most common with a lot of course, arcade machines or fighting games like that. But imagine every game out there, every fighting game had this option. It would be awesome to see that, you know, just to see the difference between a beat 'em up and the original base game. But once again, it's up to the developers if they want to bring it back or not. But at the end of the day, I think it's pretty awesome to see that, you know, they did a lot of stuff with Tekken 3, and I think that's where I think everybody really appreciates Tekken 3 for its different modes, a very good amount of characters, some new ones that brought in, some new characters that did not make sense, of course, like Dr. B, because of the way he plays, of course, and Gon, like, you know, the little dinosaur with the boxing gloves. Like, that's really amazing to see that he is a character in the game, but, you know, I don't really remember him very much, or like how he became a character in Tekken 3. And lastly, when I was very little, we did took a vacation to my uncle's house, and I remember that he showed me that he had the save data of Tekken 3 fully complete, but I'm not sure he did Game Chart or he actually played the game. But it was just pretty amazing to see that, he had all the characters, all the endings. I remember just watching all the endings to see what they were. It was just pretty awesome to remember that because, my uncle does play a lot of video games as well, which is pretty cool. But just seeing, that he was able to unlock everything, it was just pretty amazing to see that. But even still, I play it traditionally, I play it how it was, and I just unlock everything just like how we're supposed to do it. But yeah, that's my whole story of Tekken 3, guys. I mean, it's my childhood game. I'm never gonna forget it. Just playing it by myself or my brother or my sister or just trying to unlock everything. This is the game that really took off with me for the series itself. I mean, it's just phenomenal. I'm not sure how many sales it did over the times, but this is the game that really started off with me, and I try my best to make sure I keep up with the whole entire game series or franchise along the way. But of course, until next time, we are going to take on Tekken 4. So make sure to click the videos on screen, guys, if you want to check out Tekken 2 down the triple memory lane, just talking about Tekken 2. But yes, we're going to take on Tekken 4 because, of course, Tekken 8 is right around the corner. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, guys, if you do really enjoy Tekken or any other fighting game content. As well, give this video a like if you do like to join me in this trip down to memory lane, talking about the old Tekken games before we get started with Tekken 8, which is going to be basically, I would say, the ending for the whole entire, saga. But we'll just have to see for the future of what happens after Tekken 8. But as always, keep on playing and getting for life, guys. See you later.